What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G alongside Mal, and this is the A Couple of Things podcast where we are here to talk about a couple of things. Um, a lot of cultural events going on in the next 2 weeks or so. The Grammys are tomorrow. I can't even remember the last time I actually watched the Grammys. I can't even
I
think
didn't
of
watch
the
them
year.
last year.
Did we?
I feel like we did, right? Or we
I
were
don't
some
think
award
so.
show.
I don't think
No,
so.
we did. I feel like I made us watch it. I forgot why or what we were watching.
Award shows
for.
are so stupid to me. I never.
It might not have been the Grammys. It might have been the VMAs where Nicki
I-
performed. Remember? We watched that live. I don't think that was. We didn't watch
I
the
don't,
Grammys.
I don't even remember watching that.
Really?
You might have watched that.
No, we watched it in here together when she was performing her song. Big difference.
Nah.
Yeah, we were in here. You probably just weren't paying attention.
Yeah, so I wasn't watching it though. Yeah, award shows are stupid, but obviously these are important to the artists, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Well, today, since we're actually recording Sunday morning. But yeah, the only thing, if anything, that I care about, I would like to see Travis win for Utopia. So hopefully they make that happen. But who knows? Other than that, I really couldn't care less.
I feel like he deserves it.
But in addition to Grammys, there's also Valentine's Day that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of debates about Valentine's Day, as always.
Oh, about
Today's-
people, about the expectations people have.
Yeah, it's always about people's expectations and people fighting each other. And
Yeah.
the thing about these debates is that all of it always comes back down to one thing, which is just do whatever makes you happy. And that's
But people don't
not
know what makes them happy.
that's not good enough for people.
People don't know what makes them happy though, because a lot of people I feel like don't know themselves, or they don't know. Because to really figure out what makes you happy, you have to dig deep to realize what you want. I think a lot of people want what they think they want because other people want it. I think that's literally it's just a circular argument. Like I think a lot of people really only want what they want because they saw someone else have it. They don't know what they really want.
The debate I've been seeing back and forth right now is about whether the male in a relationship, I haven't seen any like LGBTQ plus comments on it,
Yeah.
but for just heterosexual couples, that the man should ask women to be their Valentine, even if they've been in a relationship with them for like 45 years. You have the people that have the expectation that the man should do that every year, and then you have the expectation that on the other side that he doesn't have to do anything, because if you're together or like you're married or something like that, like you don't have to
expected.
ask to be
Sorry.
the Valentine, because like
That's what I
you're
just think
literally
it
married
depends
with
on what you
kids.
want. Right?
Yeah, and that's what it all comes down
Because
to.
I don't want that. Like for me, like no offense, this might hurt people's feelings, but it's corny to me. Because like we're in a relationship, like you are my Valentine. I feel like asking somebody to be your Valentine's Day is your Valentine's is like middle school, high school type of. I don't know, right? Am I like? Am I
That's
just
my
being?
opinion.
I'm not being a hater, but am I just being like too harsh?
That's my opinion on it. But one thing that I like don't like that people do is that it's not enough. And we've like brought up this concept multiple times. It's not enough for people to feel the way they feel about something. They like have to make somebody else feel the same way that they do.
Yeah.
The same way that people push religion on everybody.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So
So
it's
if
not
you don't
enough.
like it, then
If you don't
it's-
like it, it's
Oh,
not
he don't love you. Leave him. What?
like if you don't personally agree with, like if somebody's in a relationship and you feel like the man shouldn't have to ask the woman to be the Valentine, it's not enough for people to just feel that way. They have to now make everybody else that wants that
Yeah.
feel that way, and that's
Yeah.
basically the main
And the
debate that I've
internet's
been
full
seeing
of so
lately.
many impressionable people, so now they think that's what they want, and now that's a trend, like, right? Like, didn't you see like is it just me, or did it seem like this year was like an influx in people asking?
It seemed like an influx, especially
Like,
because
it's OD, right?
from what I've seen and what we've seen in real life is that people don't even get asked to be
Girlfriend or
good
boyfriend.
Yeah. So
And you know what? I feel like this is like maybe this is a reach, but I feel like this is like a cop, not even a cop out, but it's almost like for people who want maybe that proposal, who want to get married, right? Like this is like their way of feeling that feeling, like because it's like there's less pressure on the man to ask a woman to be their Valentine than to ask them to be their wife. So I feel like for a lot of women, this is like replacing that feeling of like feeling like they're being proposed to, like they want that feeling,
definitely, I
and they're
think
trying to find that feeling.
I think the whole thing with like the promposals and Valentines for like college and high school
Yeah, it's
age people
very
is probably more so that. But what I've also seen with this is that people in relationships or people that are married, like the woman still wants the guy to do those kind of things.
yeah, which I don't know. Everybody's different, right? Like everybody's different. For me, you know what? I never put credence on Valentine's Day before me and you were even in a relationship, right? Before I even was in a relationship in my life, I never put credence onto Valentine's Day. Like I grew up in a two-parent household, so I've got the flowers and the candy from my dad every year, and like that was just that. Like we celebrated the day, everybody like the day is a day of love, right? So we celebrated the day just loving each other. There was no pre like proposition that you had to ask because it was already expected. Like maybe it's just because of how I grew up, but it was just expected. That's like if you're that's your daughters. Like my dad has three daughters, so your daughters are gonna get the love that day from the man in the household, and then my wife. Like it was no big to do. You had to ask before. Like I feel like when people do a lot of this grand gestures, it's very superficial to me. Like what's the relationship really like? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. People have like this correlation between grand gestures and real love. And I just feel like everybody's just trying to outgrand each other. Who's gonna have the best Valentine's Day proposition, whatever? Like to ask, like it just seems like a competition. Who's gonna have the best vacation pictures? Who's gonna have the best wedding? Who's gonna have the best proposal? Who's gonna have the best promposal? Like everything's about these grand gestures. Who's gonna have the best hotel room with the flowers and the who's gonna have the most bags on the bed of gifts? It's like where's the actual genuine love? Like why is everything such an image for people? And I feel like this is one of those things. It's like they have to show the world that they got asked to be a Valentine. I'm not, I get it from this other sense of the people who actually genuinely like those things as like a love language. I can understand that, but I don't know. For me, an expectation for that every single year will seem old. Like I feel like this is fun and cool to people who are in short relationships, in my opinion. But when you've been with somebody like like us 9 years, right? And this would be our 10th Valentine's Day, which is crazy, right? It would be our 10th? Yeah, because Valentine's Day 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 20. That's 10 Valentines. Like, asking me, can you imagine the redundancy of every year for 10 times?
But people want that.
I guess people want that. But a lot of people, I don't think they ever even got into the double digits in a relationship. So they don't even know if they will want that 10 years down the line, right? So like they think they want it now because people love and chase that newness of relationships, And I feel like a lot of divorces happen. Or like people who get married so quick. Those honeymoon stages, like for people where everything's such a high, they cling to that. Like they love that. And like they're still so enveloped in that. And I can imagine that me and you were still maybe a year or two and I might be like, yeah, you're gonna ask me to be a Valentine's Day every year. But 10 years, like I think a lot of people don't get to this point. And to say they think that's what they're gonna want until they get to 10 years, and it's like it's expected. Like duh, like you're my Valentine already. Like you shouldn't. Why you gotta ask me something that's already known? We're in a relationship. But like you said, they probably never officially even got asked to be boyfriend and girlfriend. So
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm
and
I'm
sick,
still
guys, so
falling
sorry.
back on the you know, do whatever works for you, and
Yeah,
it's also one of
this
those
is my
things.
opinion on like me, like and what I think some people cop out. But
It's also one of those things where I had to learn to not judge women that chase men just for money, because or like really why anybody chases anybody for anything, because it's like go ahead get what you want. Like I'm not gonna judge you for it.
yeah,
I personally don't agree with it, but at the same time, mostly what I wanted to bring up is just like why do we fight each other on the internet over
differing opinions
yeah.
because people are. That's the funny part. Everybody loves to be like narcissistic, egotistical. They love to throw those words out right about people, right? Mostly women talking about men. But when you watch their arguments that they're having amongst each other, it's very egotistical and narcissistic, like my way or the highway. Like I give my opinions on this podcast, but I respect everybody's differing opinions. Like I can respect and understand people who want that, right? Like I get it. Like that's just how some people view love. Like that's in their they like grand gestures. That's their love language, and that's fine. That's you, and this is me. We could both agree to disagree and still respect each other's differing opinions. Like, and that's why in life you just align with people who align with you. If you have a man that loves doing grand gestures and you're a woman that loves grand gestures, there you go. So like I feel like people got to understand that like just because that's what works for your relationship, that's not what works for mine. Like find your match, find who you're compatible with. Don't try to change somebody, like, or don't try to change yourself for somebody. Just find your person. And then there should be no arguing the base. Like, oh, your man, he's just that. He's just this. He don't love you. He just must be broke. What? Like, that's when people start losing me. Because, like, that's such a crazy narcissistic way to feel that is your way. Your opinion out of 8 billion opinions on this world, you think is correct.
Yeah.
It's
We're definitely going to see a lot of the usual. But of course, every year is going to become more and more amplified the more other people get money. So it's going to become, that whole, wealth gap is definitely going to divide because so much of what dictates what us regular folk do is what the rich and wealthy people do. So, they're going to ball out for Valentine's Day. And
that's another thing too. Like, everybody has their money and do what you want with your money. But like I said, we're talking about our opinion. Like, I just feel like it's just funny how we as people feed so much into these man-made holidays. Like, we're giving the money that the people who create these holidays are looking for. Like, if people always want to like complain about the government, oh, taxes, inflation, but then they feed into these holidays like that
causing these things too.
that the capitalist society has capitalized off of. Like, you guys are literally big hypocrites. Like, we like to do a little dinner every year, right? Like, we still like to celebrate the day, right? But like, I wouldn't even be opposed to just doing a cute dinner at home one of these years. Like,
I don't like celebrating the day.
like, yeah, because realistically, like, it's a day of love. Like, you could celebrate that at home amongst each other, but everybody has like their different forms of love, right? And everybody, like, not everybody's impacted by the economy, right? People got money to do whatever, and I put us in that bracket. Like, we're financially stable. Like, it doesn't kill our pockets to go out on a dinner. We go out to dinner on a random Saturday.
I'm rich.
We're not rich, but definitely up there.
I'm
We're
definitely
not
rich.
We're not rich.
I'm rich, y'all.
I would say we're
Quite as kept.
What would you consider our salary? Are we considered middle class combined still, or upper middle?
Well, I can speak for myself.
Our combined income.
I
feel like
based on what I make.
Let's see what's up there.
My thing is I go based off statistics, so I don't do the classification of rich, wealthy, middle class, lower class. Even though I was an economics major and I was a big factor in it, I don't like doing the labels because
we're above upper middle class. How is that possible?
Because most of the country doesn't. Most of the country doesn't make a lot of money.
We're considered upper class.
I just go.
Salary alone is like upper class.
Yeah, I go based off of statistics, and it's not so much to compare myself to other people, but it's more so just as a gauge of the value that I bring to companies and stuff like that. So I kind of just use it as a way to track, but I'll never use any of those classifications to like make myself feel better.
And remember, we also talked about this too. Everything's by state. That's the U.S.
Yeah, that's the U.S.
In New Jersey, I don't know if we're.
Yeah, in New Jersey, not. But for my age, I'm
New Jersey's money is high.
For my age, I think I'm top 8, 7, 8. I'm definitely top 10. But how deep into that top 10, I forget how close I get. It's between 10 and 5, top 10 and 5% of earners in my age group. And that's including like athletes and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, we'll see. The usual people balling out, hotel rooms.
That's what I was saying. We brought our money up to say, like, it's not like we're speaking from a place that we can't afford to do these things. Like, that's the point. We do these things on our own whenever we want.
Yeah,
we don't.
And that's where
we're not following a capitalist. These obviously these holidays came way beyond when our structure was created in this country, right? But we live in a country and a whole world that's capitalized off these holidays. Like, you go into the stores right after Christmas over, you see the Valentine's Day stuff all in the stores. Like, they're looking for your money, and they get it from you guys every year. Like, that's the funny part. People complain about the government every freaking day, but then now they're in a competition about who has the best Valentine's Day proposal, who has the best hotel room decorated. Like, you guys are literally feeding right into the trap, and it's just funny to me because it's like, I don't know. When people be like, it's funny because people kind of like to clown people that say there's like, oh, Valentine's Day is every day. They're like, sometimes people like to clown that. But realistically, like, I just live on my own times. Like, the way our love is, like, we live the life that we want to live all the time. Like, we don't wait for no special day to do special things for each other. Like, we go out all the time and we have a good time all the time. So I just find it funny how people do feed it right into the trap.
Yeah.
And these corporations are monopolizing. Like, they see it, and they're probably like, oh, We doing Valentine's Day proposals now, or they're gonna make the most creative way now to propose somebody for Valentine's Day, and they're gonna make a product for people to buy.
Really, at the end of the day, and it's applicable to basically everything. If you want to do it that way, do it that way. If you don't want to do it that way, don't do it that way. And both parties just shut the fuck up about
Yeah.
it.
Just
And
do what works
just
for your
do what works
relationship.
for you, and don't bash other people for doing things that works in their relationship, or for other people having a preference that stands outside of yours.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not bashing people, right? Like when I'm speaking, it might come across that way. I just have very strong opinions on things. And it's not necessarily bashing. Like the thing is, I don't bash the people who have genuine intentions, and I think that's like my stance on my bashing, right? I don't bash people who are genuinely into those things. Like even there's people who probably have nice Valentine's Day like proposals that didn't even post nothing. I'm not bashing those people because they clearly are genuinely doing it for themselves and their relationship. I'm bashing the people who are doing it because they're seeing other people doing it. They're putting pressure on their boyfriends because other women are doing it, and that's what they think they want, but they don't even want that. And their boyfriend already is showing them love in so many different ways, but now it's not good enough because they want the Louis bag on the bed. But so that now you're making your man feel bad and emotionally abusing him, right? Because you're not getting something that you think that you want because you see the next woman getting it. That's the people I bash. The sheep and the people who are trying to be in competition, who are only posting these things because they want to have this image and not because they genuinely want these things or care about these things. That's the people I'm bashing. But the people, there's people out there who don't even got a freaking social media, who live this life for real, and they love the grand gestures, and the man loves doing the grand gestures. Those are the people I'm going to respect, because that's them. They living in their truth. They live in the life that they want to live. They're not living for the internet. They're not trying to be in competition. They're not with somebody that maybe they're not compatible with, or they're not bird brain. They know themselves. They know what they want. They don't want something because they see someone else getting it. So I bash sheep. That's really, I bash sheep. Anytime I'm bashing people who are just going with the grain, sheep people, and then the ignorant ones who then now get on the internet and now it's your man don't love you, or your man's broke. It's like, all right, sure, if you say so. So,
Yep.
but then again, these are the same people that are gassed over 50 floor eating hibachi. I seen a tweet where some guy said that we haven't even ate hibachi on the first floor, and I'm like, since when is hibachi luxury? Someone please let me know when that became a luxury. Like hibachi was a random Thursday night dinner in the Sparks family at home. So
Hibachi no different than Panda Express to me.
no, for real, all they doing is just grilling it in front of you and pinning oil on and making flames, and so everybody could be like, ooh.
Yeah.
So that's something you gotta realize. That's the people that you're arguing with on the internet. It's people who think hibachi is high end, because this guy really said you guys aren't even sitting on the first floor eating hibachi. I'm like, yeah, we are. There's a hibachi place down the street. Yeah, we are.
What does that? Wait, what does that mean? You're sitting.
Because the lyric, that guy's song that's going viral,
Yeah.
Tia Kemp, right? He's at 50th floor eating hibachi, like he's with a baddie on the 50th floor eating hibachi.
Yeah.
He's like this guy tweeted.
Oh,
he was
he's
like,
saying, okay.
you guys are tweeting 50th floor eating hibachi, and he's like, you're not even on the first floor.
Okay.
And everybody's like, hibachi's $15.
Yeah.
So these are the people we arguing with. That's why sometimes I'm like, let me just sit back, because you guys aren't used to nothing. Like maybe it's because of how we grew up.
Yeah,
Like,
no, hibachi
was a random
just really
Thursday night
regular.
dinner.
It's just a preparation style. But
It's just
it doesn't make it anything different. Although the hibachi rice is good. I like
hibachi rice is really
like
good,
hibachi
but it's not
rice,
like it's not
but
like a luxury
it's definitely not
experience. Like
luxury.
nobody. I mean,
You're not
at least
eating
not
Dior.
we in it.
You're not
Didn't
eating
get all
Dior
dressed
rice.
up to go to eat
You
hibachi.
thought he was eating Louis Vuitton rice.
So that's why sometimes like I gotta realize I'm right. These are the people that they were arguing with on the internet, and just sometimes you gotta just sit back.
Yeah. So aside from Valentine's Day coming up and other cultural events, the Super Bowl is in a week. It's next week.
Oh, I know.
The Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the San Francisco 49ers. I am a Cowboys fan, for those of y'all that don't know. This is a New York Football Giants fan to the left
New York
of me.
football.
That's what they're called, the New York Football Giants.
Oh,
You don't know what the team is called?
it's those New York Giants. I never knew it was the New York Football Giants.
All right.
I swear, guys, I am a fan, but I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's crazy. I
So
actually never knew that.
anyway, the Super Bowl is coming up, and of course, there's all. Listen, I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I had to hesitate there. I don't
I
dislike
actually
her
don't like
per
it.
se because I don't feel like she's done anything personally, but I do dislike what she represents. And she's being used as a vessel to like funnel a lot of culture into a different ethnicity group.
Yeah,
So there's just a lot going on with this whole thing, and I feel
it
like
gets
we
deep.
could have
There's
done a
so many
breakdown. Yeah, we could have done a
layers.
breakdown
Yeah,
before, but before I even jump
I
into
know where
that,
you're heading.
yeah, before I even jump into the cultural part of it, there was there's this thing, women always want to classify and jump into some classification group to make themselves feel better, I guess, or they just want to
To
be
give themselves a yeah.
categorized. I don't know why y'all do it. I'm not
It's a
throwing you in here.
category because I feel like women seek community, and community comes with labels. So you want a label to attach yourself to.
Yeah, attach yourself to
I
a
personally
movement.
don't seek community because I'm really alone. Both I'm a loner, so I don't really care. But I can understand people look for a title throughout their whole lives and in groups.
And you see it every 6 months, every 3 months, 4 months. There's a transition into a new title. So there's definitely, the soft girl life thing had its little stint.
Black girl
Black
luxury.
girl luxury. Now it's what is it? Mob wife,
Yeah, they're
boss,
talking,
mob
and then of
boss
course it doesn't
wife.
help now that Griselda is on Netflix. Like people already were trying to move into that trend. I'm like, oh my god, just
Yeah.
be yourselves. How about we be ourselves today?
Then there's
And apparently they're like doing rock star. They're trying to do the rock star
rockstar
edgy stuff. I'm like, oh,
girlfriend
they're coming for my
aesthetic,
aesthetic. No.
and there's the classification of women that date athletes.
Yes, they're called WAGs. We talked about this too in the podcast. Remember, I actually mentioned the term WAGs to you like maybe 3 weeks ago, and you were like, "What is that?" You never heard
And
of
I
it.
figured it was just
It's just it means wives and girlfriends, and they affiliate WAGs with sports, mostly
now.
football.
I'll keep some of my opinions to myself on this one, but one thing that I do have an issue with is that there's this like horrible rhetoric that gets pushed by people with certain agendas, and Oprah was like a main proponent of that, and it's like one
Yeah,
of the main reasons why women's views on men are so messed up to this day,
yeah.
because women
Daytime
in
TV.
our age group, your mothers grew up with daytime TV that sits there and bashes men all day, says you don't need a man, but a man should pay for everything at the same time. So it's all this confusing rhetoric, and they were able to just run up
Damage a
billions
generation.
of dollars while damaging a whole generations to
Yeah,
come.
and those miserable moms sat there telling their daughters these things.
And those kind of things are like responsible for single parent households, right? Like women are the ones that typically initiate divorce. Why is it like 90% of divorces are initiated by women? And I think that some of this rhetoric has something to do with these things, um but I have certain opinions on the wags thing, which I'll keep to myself out of respect for people's wives and girlfriends. And I don't have an issue with it.
What is your opinion? Do you? No, I'm saying like, your opinion on them? Like, you just don't? I don't know, like them classifying themselves, or you just don't like the?
Yeah, I have a little bit of an issue, I guess, with them classifying themselves that way.
Yeah.
Almost because I like
You feel like it's like cloudy, like they're trying to like kind of leverage.
a little bit. Yeah, it's like almost like unnecessarily cloudy. And I guess
Yeah,
you know you're promoting the lifestyle, I guess, which is kind of cool. But
yeah.
I don't have like a.
And it's a unique lifestyle. Like it's probably cool to
It
just
is,
be in the boxes and on
and
the.
people are curious,
Yeah.
and they probably don't have much to do all day.
Yeah, and a lot of them might not have jobs themselves, right? Because
Yeah.
their man might have retired them, right? And
So
so they're trying to make the income.
if this is their
It's
hobby,
just pure intention. Like that's what I was
Yeah,
saying with the
for
whole
sure.
bashing. Like I don't bash pure intention. There's real, genuine, pure intention there.
nah, it's
But if
cool.
it's cloudy, if you're trying to like literally, you don't even like the man, you're just trying to use that as a title to get your clout. I don't like that.
Yeah, because then I don't want that. I don't want women to now have so much of their love for their partner really be based on their partner's
look.
status, and
Yeah.
like, oh, he plays for this and he does that. And of course you can be proud of those things, but it would just be unfortunate if like the whole wax thing for certain people is just based off of just the look or the image, which
Yeah.
it's, I don't know.
Cause you could tell when it's genuine. Like a lot of the relationships, especially that started prior to the fame, right?
Right.
Like
Most of them.
Mahomes, obviously. Like you, like imagine you just with your high school boyfriend who plays football, and then like he just happens to now become like one of the best quarterbacks we've seen. Like and it's like you can't predict those things. So I don't feel any clout or ill intentions with her because she was with him before the money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so for sure. But what I want to talk about specifically was the TikTok
video.
I saw about the women, well, I guess that's what they want to be called. So the WAGs,
the WAGs.
they did
The
a
WAGs
video
are
after the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
Won. After the 49ers just won in the NFC Championship game to send them to the Super Bowl, they did a video with each one of them, and they said, what was it? It was like we're WAGs.
Yeah, it was a whole.
Of course,
like,
we're going to the Super
yeah,
Bowl.
we're bags. Yeah, that whole. Of course, we're going like that. Trend.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what I saw more commonly than anything was hating women in the
Well,
comments.
Only in the shade room, because on TikTok the comments were positive.
They were
If anything,
I actually saw they generally were positive.
yeah. If
but
most of the comments on TikTok actually were just people being shocked about how many black wives and girlfriends exist,
Yeah.
which is something that's so stupid because I don't know why people.
no, it's Oprah. I'm gonna break this whole thing down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna break this
people
whole
are
thing
so
down.
they think all these rich, successful men, especially athletes and musicians, go after white women, and
It's just not true.
like people just don't want to look like they take the small percentage of the interracial couples that exist and then act like magnify it. Like this is what if people actually paid attention, this is probably what most of the wives and girlfriends look like too. Like there's the star players, but there's so many people in the NFL. There's so many players on the roster. Like some of the people might not even been on the field.
Yeah.
Some of the wives and girlfriends in the video, the boyfriends might have been on the bench the whole game.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, the Oprah rhetoric, where it's like not like that whole. I knew it was a thing where he gets on and he gonna leave you for a white girl. Like I know that was a thing,
Brainwashed.
but it blew up more than it should have, because we know for the most part in our black communities there's not white women in our communities
like,
in general.
Look around at all the black people that you see.
Let me
like,
cook.
No, but it's like that's why I'm like people are like bird brain sometimes. Like look around.
We don't.
Black love is strong and alive and well.
Black people don't tend to actually be around white people.
They don't.
But they just don't.
Our communities are literally
And
usually mostly us.
That whole when he gets on, I don't know. I actually really don't know where that came from, and maybe that was a thing, just like we, and when black community tried to say that there was a era for dark skinned men, like Wesley Snipes was putting on for dark skin. Like I know we do weird things where we put like these eras on things,
Yeah.
where stuff exists. So maybe that was something at some point that was a thing.
Yeah, maybe there was some shift, right, where a lot of them all agreed like we're going
Or maybe
to
they
pursue.
they saw 2 or 3 people, like they saw OJ or somebody
Yeah.
like that, and then they just tried to apply it
And
to all men.
influenced, yeah.
But that's really
Okay.
not the case.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can just literally look and see across all athletics, like it's really not the disparity that they think it is. But in addition to, some of these kids grow up in places like with Bronny, because we talked about this before, where
Yeah.
like they really just
That's just his environment.
It's just his environment. So we can't really fault him for
Yeah. If you grow up in Calabasas, then yeah, you're probably gonna have a white girlfriend.
slim pickings.
Yeah.
See, my grandma was just talking about that too, with how she met my granddad, because there wasn't that many black people at Pratt. So it was like,
Yeah.
how many black people are you really gonna see? So
Yeah.
it's like basically slim pickings. So it's the same thing. So that's number one. So there was people being shocked about there being so many black women.
Yeah.
Like, don't be shocked. Like, just don't listen to rhetoric.
Yeah,
because,
like open your eyes.
and people
Look
don't
at
even
look at the top athletes who they're with, mostly black women.
yeah.
LeBron, what's his name? Westbrook. What's the other one? I'm drawing blanks.
That other one.
I'm drawing
No,
blanks.
because there's a
but
lot of athletes.
It's a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot of athletes and there's a lot
and
of
a
them.
lot, yeah, and a
married
lot
to
of.
black
I'm
women.
drawing a blank, but I literally just saw like a post where it's showing all the wives, like, and they
Yeah.
were all like black.
Yeah, that's just a common sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there was that, but then there was also comments from women that were bashing the women's appearances because
And this was mostly in the shade room because the shade room's full of miserable people.
yeah, and they were bashing the women because they looked normal, like
Yeah.
just regular women without a lot of surgeries and lip fillers and shots. People still do shots.
And
No, they do BBLs, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. And this is like something I'm seeing now. This ignorant, this hairstylist said, "All y'all need to come get slayed, but y'all beautiful." Like, what's wrong? What do they need to be slayed for? What's wrong with them? Slayed how? Like, why is there just this like projection onto them that to be a wife and a girlfriend of a Super Bowl like team? Like, now I gotta be glamorous. Like, why? Like, people are so brainwashed. It's actually sad. Like, why be projecting out to them? They look fine. What
Because
do they need to be slayed for? They're already
they do
slaying.
look
They look.
fine.
They look.
They look.
They
They
look
look beautiful.
like. What do we? Why do they need to come there with a 30-inch bust
Click on
down?
that person's profile.
He's a hairstylist, so that's why he's saying that. He's probably trying to promote himself.
Let me see this, please.
He's done celebrity stuff too. Jonathan. Yeah,
I'll keep my comments to myself before I get. All right,
you look at him.
stop. I'm gonna get kicked off the internet. Him?
Yeah,
All right. Anyway, so yeah, there was
he
all
needs to go
that
slay
like
that stomach.
that the women saying that these women look a mess and whatever because they just don't look like the typical. And it's not even typical. That's the other part.
Mm-hmm.
Most athletes don't be with people with the super BBLs and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not even a typical thing. They just expect rappers and athletes to be with a certain type of women.
Yeah.
Quiet as kept, and any rapper or athlete will tell you this. The people that they really want don't look like the standard type people. Like they want regular looking women.
And I wish a lot of women would stop with that because there's a lot of women that push this up too, which is funny because women always like. I'm telling you, this is gonna be the woman bashing podcast because I'm a woman. But women always want to push about how they blame men for stuff. Like it's men's fault this, men's fault that. But if you look in these comments, it's women talking about them. It's women are complaining about their looks. No, like all the men are like saying they're pretty, like they're complimenting them. It's the women that are being miserable, saying that they're basic. Oh, maybe I could go get me an NFL player if that's how they're coming. They're the ones that project and push these things and pressure onto us, which is like crazy because like you just said, men don't even care or want those things. Like what about a 30-inch bust down middle part, 25 millimeter lashes, big lip injections, face full of makeup, BBL? Like what about that? That a man is like, yeah.
I have
And could their whole thing is could the men be with those women? Well, yeah, because they, first of all, everything's not a mindless, right? But second of all, that's just that industry. Like that's kind of what their options are in a way. And third, lots of times men will have, no offense, will have sex with anything. Like, and that might just be a fantasy type thing. That's not who they might be wifing though.
Yeah,
Not who they're wifing.
a man is only as loyal as his options. So if that's what the options that's popping up is, then that's just what they're
Yeah.
gonna take. Guys not gonna turn certain stuff down, but that
But it's
doesn't
just
mean
Yeah, doesn't mean that's what they
want
want.
or desirable. And
Women don't want to push these things. Men never said they wanted 30-inch weaves and lip fillers.
it always ends up being a mistake. So like, the men don't ever end up like wifing these IG model BBL warriors. Anyway, usually if they end up wifing them, it's actually by mistake.
Yeah,
Like they
got them
accidentally
pregnant.
impregnated them or something like that. But when they actually get married, if ever, it's never the ones that you would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was
It's just
they look perfectly fine. They look
Yeah.
beautiful. They look like normal black women. Like that whole
And why are we projecting onto NFL players? Like just because they're NFL players now, they have to raise the bar above what they want. Like they're just regular guys who are playing football.
and it's not
Like,
even raising the bar though. 'Cause
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Yeah,
Hold
that's
up.
the thing.
Let me. And this is one of those things where you can't say anything as a man to women because it's all we don't do anything for men kind of thing. But they do. Don't want to admit that part. But also in addition to that, all that glamorous, like you were saying, all the long hair and the
Long
nails and all that other
nails.
stuff,
Yeah.
like it looks good because the person looks good just in general and they would look good without that stuff. But all of that extra glamorous, over the top, wearing full Fendi print bodysuits, all that kind of stuff, like that's not attractive. Like it's really not to be
It's a
completely
lot.
honest with you. It's a lot going on
Yeah.
and it's not like men really gravitate towards that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like there's a reason why certain people in entertainment have ascended to the levels that they've ascended to and don't look anything like that.
Yeah.
Like there is a reason for that because that's
don't
not what
people-
people want.
And don't people realize, especially women, like that we're at the end of the day we're animals. So don't you think a man is gonna be the most attracted to the most natural form of a human? Because like this, like naturally you're just attracted to. humans because they're humans. Like we are attracted to men because men don't do much to change their appearance. Like you look how you look. Like as a woman, like I feel like what men would think was like the most attractive is like obviously a natural face, a more natural appearance of your hair, right? And your body like in a natural setting and just toned down because it's like you could see everything. Like you know, like you said, like I'm not like a man might not be like, ooh, look at that Fendi print bodysuit with the 30-inch bust down nails. Ooh, like she's the baddie, I need her. Like they might want to have sex, right? And be like, okay, she probably look good with her like naked and stuff. But it's like they try to act like that men want the super glammed and they gotta look like that. Like it's so like
Men
crazy because you're masking everything that's natural.
men don't, and it's not like the women won't look good because like you'll still look good. But the thing is that whole all the makeup stuff, it looks good to women. It doesn't necessarily look good to men. That's why women got so offended by the birthday makeup thing because
Yeah.
like the makeup looks good because that's what the intention of the makeup is. So like you can have some like crazy winged eyeliner and to me it may make you look like one of those Egyptian hieroglyphic bird looking
Yeah.
things. But for the women community, they're gonna view that as being, oh my God, how did she get her
Yeah.
wing so
Sharp.
sharp and precise and perfect? So the women, that all of that stuff looks good to you, but as a male, it's like I prefer you to not have those
Yeah.
things. Like I want to see your face. Like I
Yeah.
don't want it to be like covered up with all this stuff, and how you like touching my
Yeah.
Margiela jacket, wiping your whole face off on my shirt. Like I
And
don't.
that's why like there goes women being hypocrites again, right? Because like you just said, like we kind of do it for like that's what we say. We do it for ourselves. We do it for ourselves. So if women do it for ourselves, then why are you pressuring another woman to look like that for a man?
Yeah.
Like they like how they look, that's fine. Like why are you like if we're doing it for ourselves, then why are you pressuring them to do it for a man? You see how women are just hypocrites and telling themselves all the time? Like I'm telling you, my species is delusional and annoying and evil. Like
Yeah. So
I love being a woman, but I'm not a fan of women. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really not. Like every day, more and more, I realize why I'm not. Like the comment section was disgusting to me. Like I'm like, this is why I do not like women. Like
women are the worst, and it's only getting worse.
it's
And
crazy.
I don't want
And
to
then they're
keep
gonna try
doing
to
it.
blame men. Like
I don't want to keep getting into the women bashing because
I know,
I could do this for
and
literally
people are gonna think I'm being a pick
27
me
hours.
just because I'm kind of hold my people accountable.
Yeah, but aside from that, you know, it's not that that's set the tone for how trash the Super Bowl will be. But of course, Lamar letting us down.
I
The
know.
Chiefs basically,
Ravens,
the
what
the Chiefs
happened?
basically finding some way somehow, and Roger Goodell scamming, um, to get back into the Super
Like,
Bowl.
bruh, I don't know how they did it.
And
Well, I know how they did it.
we know because the whole season was set to be Aaron Rodgers was supposed to take over the NFL. He went to the Jets in the biggest sports market, and they put a HBO Hard Knocks show in the New York Jets locker room so that they can have the full documentary for the whole season. He gets injured the first
The
day
opening
on the
drive.
opening second.
The opening drive.
My leg.
That's crazy.
And then the whole script that the NFL wrote out for how they wanted the season to go
It's
completely
gone.
went out the window. So what they had to do, they had to put all their marbles in the Taylor Swift and Kelsey
And let's think about
basket.
that too. Where does Taylor Swift even come from? Because like I didn't even know that they were like even talking or a thing. Like I feel like she just popped up.
Well, that could be a thing, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean
you know, people have private lives too,
they do,
but you see
but
that
they've ate
there's
it up.
definitely a vested interest
Yeah,
in it, and they just continue to do it,
every game
even
that
though
she
all
was
of the
in.
men that watch it don't want to hear or see or
Yeah,
do anything with it. And not to, I don't want to speak on their relationship specifically because it could be a true relationship because you know his mom's involved, so I'm not going to speak too heavily on that part. But there is a concept of entertainment
yeah,
relationships where it's not even a real thing
and
and
it
people
benefits
just do it
both
for the money
parties. But it benefits both parties.
until she breaks up with him and then all of Swiftyland goes and crucifies him in the comments for the rest of his
Yeah,
life.
you know, that would be like what her 15th boyfriend.
Anyway,
Like red flag. She's a walking red flag in my opinion. I guess the Chiefs color is perfect for her.
the Swift Bowl uh, will be taking place and definitely, in
Oh
my opinion, was rigged.
yeah, because
Um,
you know what's weird? I had a weird feeling when I kept seeing her on my screen this
yeah,
season.
like
I was
the
like,
Chiefs are gonna
they're
find a
gonna
way,
make it to Super Bowl. Watch.
and they made it happen. And I hate to be that person where it's like, You think
Conspiracy.
something's rigged and it could be conspiracy just because you didn't get like the favorable outcome that you wanted. But I'm saying this from like a perspective of my team is in the NFC, so the Chiefs making a Super Bowl has no impact
Yeah,
on
it
me.
had
I
nothing
don't
to do
really
with
care.
us
I
on
got
the
nothing to do with
NFC
me.
side.
But the way certain stuff was weird and like Lamar not really running and
Right? Didn't his energy just seem off that game?
yeah, they
Like,
abandoned the whole play calling style and everything
yeah.
that they
Like
had
now
the
that I
whole
think about it, he was
season. It
not
was just
himself that game. Like, and I
weird.
feel like him crying afterwards, he knew. Like, I think he was just, I don't know, something.
Throwing into triple
Don't come for us.
coverage.
The NFL, they gonna come for us.
It's
Something was
entertainment, so
off.
you know that this is what they like are doing because it's a business. But this is gonna be the worst Super Bowl ever, and it's like I hate to be that person, but low key, I don't know if I'm watching football anymore. And it sounds dramatic, but to me,
I feel you.
to me,
Because
it's
it's
not
like
the
it's almost like
sports.
you're losing the love for the sport because everything else is
Everything
all
else
the
is taken
stuff that's
away from
coming
it.
around it. Yeah, it's like
It makes
Taylor
it
Swift
aggravating.
thing, the possible rigging, the possible script having some truth to it. It's like I just want to watch these people play football.
Yeah, I don't want the politics on the Black Lives Matter NFL.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to watch any of these different things that are going on, and it just takes away from the sport itself. It's almost like the reason why I stopped watching baseball was because, and I still love baseball. I have a special place in my heart for it, but one of the things that's aggravating about baseball is that you're not even allowed to have fun in the sport. Like it's like the only sport where you can't really like celebrate and be excited for something,
It's like really conservative.
because the next thing you know, you're gonna get a 97 mile per hour fastball thrown at you because you celebrated a home run you hit. Meanwhile, in the NFL, they're doing choreographed
Yeah.
dances.
And NFL sometimes has a little extra too, like with the taunting that they had.
Yeah,
On,
it's
what's
just
his
so
name?
much extra stuff like the
And the
missed
NBA
calls.
is too. It's
NBA
so
is
soft,
nuts. Like I
soft.
completely just stopped
Like, yeah,
watching
this
NBA.
is sad.
It's just so many things that I love about these sports are just like getting ripped away from me, and it's just like I gotta find another thing to maybe watch. Just maybe go back to just watching straight movies, because all I watch is movies and sports. So maybe I just gotta watch more movies because
To
I
balance it
can't
out.
watch the missed calls over and over again. Like I just watched the missed call again from I think it was the last time the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl.
There needs to be a better system about
And
the,
it's-
the
and there's
referee
nobody's
system.
held accountable.
There's so many cameras that I think everything needs to be. Let's make this automated. Let's use AI. Like we don't maybe we don't even need refs no more. Let's get like, cameras on every angle of the field.
Or have no refs on the field, but you just have so many cameras and there's
Yeah,
somebody in
certain
a
people
booth
watching. Yeah,
and they're watching.
yeah.
Which I know
Let's get into that.
people might say that how does that make a difference when those refs could miss calls too? I think the difference is that we got technology that we can use. The refs are sitting there they're guessing on
Game
calls
changing
sometimes.
calls too. Missing a pass interference is a game changing
Missing
call.
a hold, missing
15
anything.
yards for
First down,
is
and it could be longer than
game
that.
Yeah,
That pass interference in the end zone would have put them on the 1 yard line.
yeah.
So there's so much stuff with the Super Bowl. The
I'm
only good
excited
thing,
to see the 49ers, like Mr. Irrelevant
I don't
Purdy.
care.
I like Purdy.
The 49ers are
Purdy.
trash, and they get to get off the whole like they've had the most playoff wins out of any team since 1995 and have not won a single Super Bowl.
They'll win it this time. Please, I need them. This is our last hope to get.
But they don't get none of the slander that the Cowboys get. Like the 49ers can't put nothing together. They're in the same boat. They're literally in the same boat as the Cowboys, but you don't hear anything about it. They get their playoff wins,
Yeah.
and people like them. Classic
But
team,
they
of
make
course.
it to the Super Bowl. No offense that you guys haven't. They make it to the Super Bowl.
They do.
They have success in the playoffs, usually.
They
Yeah.
do.
So
But
that's the only difference.
if you always lose,
But
what's the
I'm rooting
difference?
for the 49ers. You know, like if you had to pick a lesser of two evils, I never had an issue with the 49ers. They're our NFC representation right now. And I like Purdy. I like the whole Mr. Irrelevant to Super Bowl pipeline. I feel like it's cool. If people want to call him assistant quarterback, cool. But I like it. I like it. I like it. Because, I mean, the Lions would have been cool to see too, right? Because that would have been like history. But it's cool. Take the 49ers.
Nah. Chiefs are going to beat the brakes off the 49ers.
No.
Sorry. They
Please
are.
not. Please, 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 please,
That's what it
please to the football gods. No.
But yeah, I think I'm done with sports. Not even really to be dramatic about it, but I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Because it
And-
just makes it so unenjoyable to watch. It's like, why even put yourself through that? It's
Yeah.
like watching a bad movie and like continuing to watch it. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Not even being dramatic. Like even if the Cowboys won every Super Bowl, like I would still feel the same way because I'm a fan of sports.
Yeah, and
So
the realness of it is what you're there for, like
yeah,
not
and
the
like now
theatrics and the
the
politics and
and
the
missed calls and all
yeah.
this, like it's like I just saw one the other day. I forget who was playing, but it was in the NBA, and I think there was like a missed call or something, and the other team was gonna challenge it. I feel like it was the Knicks, but I could be wrong. And the other team, like the ball went out of bounds, so the other team was like, quickly, let's get the ball inbounded so they can't challenge it. The ref took the ball, held it on one side. He said, "Give it to me." He wouldn't give it to him. The ref wouldn't give the player the ball. Then he put the ball on this side, so the player went to this side, and then the ref moved the ball back over here on this side, so the player went back to this side to get the ball,
Yeah.
and then that gave the other team enough time to call the challenge. So
That's
he
so
specifically wouldn't
weird.
let the player inbound the ball because
That's so
he
weird.
wanted to allow the other team to challenge, which
That's
is
so weird. That's like that's
that's rigging.
rigging. Yeah.
What are we talking about here? So I
Yeah.
can't watch
Sports is
sports like
this.
that.
This
Like it's
is
just
it's sad. It's
I don't
ruining
know.
it.
It's the money
I
and
mean,
the sports
eventually, I feel
betting and
like
all
if
this other
enough people
stuff.
are mad about it, they might reform
But
it.
nobody's going to, right?
Yeah, no one's going to.
It's almost like
They're
the
gonna
same.
accept it.
Like people make that argument like, why are people vegan? Like it doesn't matter. The pig is already dead.
Yeah.
It's like kind of that same argument because it's
Yeah.
like like the NFL don't need me. The NBA don't need my view. They'll be
Yeah.
fine with it without me. So me not doing it isn't going to do anything. And even if 100,000 people don't watch the NFL anymore, it won't do anything to them. Like
Yeah.
so, real dramatic. Um, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
get into Swifty Kelsey stealing black culture, but
Oh.
I'm not getting into that.
Yeah. I mean, you could just briefly say like it is
Not
crazy. Like you were her swag surfing, and then now all of a sudden they're giving Travis Kelsey the credits for the fade. It's just
for
like
creating the
it's
mid
just
fade.
nasty. Like Travis Kelsey been kind of relevant for a while. I had a whole black girlfriend, so why are we now trying to give him the credit for a black hairstyle and Taylor Swift doing the swag surf? Like why like what's up with the dabbling in black culture? Like it's very annoying, and I just think it's so crazy that they're trying to give him credit for a fade. Like and white people are gonna eat it up.
What's
They're going to
crazy about
believe
that
it.
too is that New York Times wrote that.
Yeah, New York Times. Like it's such a slap in the face. And I'm so tired of the hijacking of Black American culture from everybody, even other Black people. And I'm really fed up. I'm really fed up.
Yeah,
But that's
so
that's a rant for another day. Cause
shout out to Usher. Hopefully he performs well at the Super Bowl, but I'm not personally going to be tuning in. I know you will because you can't help yourself, but
and the 49ers, I would love to just see them win.
yeah, I'm not rolling this year. This time I actually really have to like stand for that because it's too much. It's too much of that, right? Like, and you know what? I wouldn't put it past him to have seen that article
And
and then not say anything,
yeah,
right? So it's
or feel like yeah.
yeah, man. So,
And
and
he be
I don't want
pissing
to
me
put
off too, cause he be giving me like black white boy, trying to be white black boy, date the black girl. I don't know. He's an interesting character to me.
yeah.
But that's a whole different conversation for another day.
Whole different conversation, but we are not watching the Super Bowl.
I am.
No. Well, you could lead us into this next one because
The next topic is there was okay. Okay.
was that even English?
Yeah, I don't know what I just
Is
said.
it-
There was I don't know what I was saying. There was a tweet of a video, and this video is old. Like I've seen this video before, but basically, there was a tweet that someone made, but they was talking about. It was a while ago. They was talking about like why they feel like white people have more successful marriages, or like they seem like they lean into getting married and having kids, like they were raised on that belief. She tweeted this, and then she added this video now, like weeks later, as context, like saying like, see, like this is what I was talking about. And this is an old video, but basically it was a video showing all these education majors, like they was at a college graduations, and they all were engaged already, like by their college graduations. It was like maybe 5, 6, 7 of them, and it was all like showing their rings, and they were literally in their college graduation year, right? So this started a whole conversation where they're saying like how black community, we don't have that embedded in our brains to get married, like especially going to school and getting married. So they're saying that they feel like white people, especially, white people are like raised onto you go to college. When you go to college, you go there, you find your husband who has a good major. And yeah. So, and they were saying that black people, we were raised on go to college, don't focus on a relationship, focus on yourself, get successful. You know what I mean? And there were some tweets like this person said, I think the difference is white people want to get married and black people don't. White people see the value of marriage and black people will be on the timeline saying there's no benefit. So guess whose parents are drilling marriage into their kids' brain? And then someone else said, if you ever been around middle class suburban white people, you know it's easy for them to get married, and not just because of the lack of emotional trauma and financial stress, but also because they don't marry based on ideologies or shared interests. They barely have a sense of self, and without all those things, finding a partner is literally based off vibes and giggles. So basically, people are trying to give white people the benefit of the doubt that they are more inclined to be married because that's how they were raised, basically. And
gotcha.
I brought this topic up because we are a black couple who are headed towards marriage, who have married black friends who come from two-parent household. I mean, my parents just got divorced last year, but we know they were married for 26 years. And your parents still married. We have married aunts and uncles. We were raised around a lot of black love and black marriage. So, and successful marriages. Maybe not my parents anymore, but we around that. And I feel like we're the best people to speak on this because I feel like we met in college, right? And I don't know. I don't think it's true necessarily that you have to have it drilled into your brain to meet a person in college. I feel like for us, it just happened naturally. We met, and it just happened naturally, right? Like it was like nobody drilled into our heads like go to school, meet you, and find your husband. Go to school and find your wife. We just met, was having a good time, was chilling, got to know each other, and just a relationship came out of it. And there was no thought of, like, even when I was like, we came to school undeclared, right? I declared accounting, which was already the plan. You declared economics. I don't know about you, but for me, there was no, what's he majoring in? Economics? Oh, yeah. He's going to be a good husband. Like, no.
Why you always do that weird voice?
Because I just think...
Bro, that playback is going to sound insane.
I never was a thought for me. Like, I never was sitting there, like, thinking about that. Like, wow, yeah, economics, he's about to get a bag. Like, no, like, I already loved you. Like, regardless of what your major was in, I was going to support you, whatever career that you were going to do. Like, it just so happened to be that me and you both have gotten lucrative majors and lucrative careers and are living like a pretty good financially stable life together. That's just happened by happenstance.
Pretty good. I'm doing fantastic.
Like, no, that's just by happenstance. Like,
How are you doing?
We loved each other before.
You doing fantastic?
Yeah, I would say so. And we already loved each other before we even declared majors. So like there was no ill intention. There was no I'm gonna find somebody, pursue somebody because they're major and who they are. Like no, it was 17, 18-year-old young kids who just fell in love. And there was nobody had to drill it into our heads. Like I feel like maybe it's just because we were used to seeing marriage, so it was an expectation for ourselves. Like we just knew like, we'll be married one day because we saw our parents were married. Like that was just kind of like nobody told us, right? I don't know about you. Like, did your parents ever sit you down and like, you're gonna get married, right? You're gonna find your person. Like, did they ever really have those conversations with you? My parents didn't.
For sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents never did that. But honestly, there was never no. I mean, there was like passing conversation, like, you're gonna find your husband one day and like and get married. Like there was like passing conversation, but there was never no drilling in our heads. Find your husband. Find your husband. He's gonna take care of you. Like there was none of that.
Not the trying to force feed finding somebody. It was more so educating on the things you should and should not look out for.
Yeah.
Or the
like
things
the
that you
flags.
should look out for.
Yeah.
And the questions that you should ask, the information that you should have about this person.
Yeah.
What position you should be in and your role in a relationship. So it's more so like the education on how to have a successful relationship more so than finding a relationship in general, or like finding a husband, like or wife. Like there was never such an emphasis on just simply finding someone.
Yeah.
Their emphasis was just on finding a quality relationship and like what things not to do.
Yeah. But
But
there was no like, you got to get married. You need to
yeah,
do, yeah.
find a wife that does this and blah blah. Nah.
And I feel like it's like kind of funny how like black people are putting white people on a pedestal, thinking that's what they do. Like that might not be necessarily what they do either. Like yeah, there might be more like talks about it, but I don't think people are really sitting there drilling it. Like I think some people definitely are, right? And I'm not gonna like say that there isn't a discrepancy because there definitely is. The stats don't lie, right? But that could go into a deeper conversation, like we just said, the Oprah thing, the just slavery, how that turned into segregation, and like, you know, because black people were getting married and were having like these lives, right? But then things like Jim Crow and all those things, and then you know you could talk about like Ronald Reagan and the whole crack cocaine. Like somebody had a good explanation about this, and I was like, I agree. I can find it real quick, but it's like you could have so many explanation of why black people aren't necessarily as inclined to marriage anymore, and how our communities got destroyed by like mass incarceration and all that. But then there is like a sense of accountability and of having to then now, you know, you have your own brains. We can't keep blaming the system and blaming this and blaming that. Like you could still want those things and desire those things, but I really don't think that white people are as like I think black people are kind of putting them on a pedestal a bit with the whole acting like they're so much better than us because they're taught to be married and they're taught to have community and build their homes and stuff, like, you know.
Yeah, I think definitely they have that explained to them more than we do. I don't think that's a debate. To the extent that they do that, I don't know. We wouldn't be able to tell that necessarily. But yeah, for me, at this point, of course, there's a concept of something being a simple answer, but not an easy answer. And for anybody that doesn't understand what that means, the simple answer is something where it's black and white, right? So it's like if you want to lose weight, for example, let's say the simple answer is don't eat unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why that's not an easy answer is because the reason why somebody might eat unhealthy is because of economic conditions. It could be due to trauma. It could be due to addictions. It could be due to a lot of different things. So the answer itself is simple: eat healthy. But the way to get to that is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And so on a simple level, yeah, black people should just try to get married more. But
Yeah,
it's not easy because there are these other
there's
different
so many
things.
variables.
There's a lot of different variables, but really at the end of the day, like nothing's stopping you from learning and educating yourself.
Yeah, breaking
And
generational curses.
yeah, and you have that responsibility to your people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to do that, then you know that's kind of on you. I'm not going to be a part of that personally,
Yeah,
but you have a choice at the end of the day, especially because
you don't need to be
if
taught
you have
it
the
either.
internet
Yeah, that's
and
the
you're
you don't
tweeting,
need, yeah.
you
You're
don't
seeing.
need a parent to ingrain anything in you.
Exactly.
You can go ahead and learn. There's so many different things.
Movies have so much marriages, and there's so many even black shows that have successful marriages. Like the Cosby. I mean, I know Cosby. It's a little bit. People don't like to talk about him no more, but there's shows that exist that show black love and black marriage. So you don't
My,
need your parents drilling nothing into your head.
I'm blessed to have. I'm beyond blessed, first of all, to have the parents that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to that, there's so many things that they taught me. But there's so many things outside of that that I taught myself that they wouldn't even necessarily
Yeah.
know when it comes to how I should navigate my life or certain things, certain financial tricks and stuff like that that I know from just my schooling or being self-taught or my
Mm-hmm.
reading or documentaries that I watch and just my studying overall.
Yeah.
I add to those different things, right? Because they can teach me all about relationships
Yeah.
and whatever, but that's from a perspective that's 30 years older than
Exactly.
my perspective. So I
And
still,
your
at the
parents
end
not
of the
always
day,
right. Just because they're your parents doesn't mean what how they feel is correct either. So
Right.
you still have your own responsibility for yourself
right?
to teach yourself things.
Think about everything that happened 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I actually just saw a video of 30 years ago. I think they were trying to describe like since like the last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl or something like that, and then all the different things that have changed since then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if you take all those things that have changed, listening to my parents' perspectives on certain things, it just doesn't translate well because of that time difference. So many other things I had to learn myself, and
Yeah.
I owe myself that that
Exactly.
responsibility, and also owe that to my potential
The
future
future.
kids. I owe that to you. I owe that to everybody to continue to learn and
Yeah.
not fall into these things
And that's why I
again.
just don't like that excuse. Like I feel
Because
like this is such an excuse that you need your parents to drill it into your head.
I'm not rich or wealthy or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm doing really well for myself, and I could imagine a world where a young black male in my position would make certain life decisions and choices based on certain things because
Mm-hmm.
like I make whatever I make, and you're lightweight accustomed to that because of me, but you also had your parents and your dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like exactly so far off from what you've ever experienced,
Yeah.
but there could be somebody out there where I'm at is so beyond their wildest dreams, and I think so many young black men make that decision where maybe if they do get popping, then they just go berserk and then just go all out in the streets, and now they're like
Impregnate a whole
40,
bunch of women
yeah,
too.
and then it's just
And
like
yeah.
just continuing
And
these
just
sorts of
don't
things.
create that marriage structure.
And yeah, like our music is influential in that too.
Yeah.
Like our music is, the
Our
movies
music,
are,
the music is very much pushes singlehoodness.
and I still have this debate internally because I kind of have to like see how I feel about it, but I don't know if the music is promoting the lifestyle as much as it is somebody talking about something and then other people just finding it cool.
I think it's that. I think it started with somebody just talked about their experience. People thought it was cool, and then entertainers saw how what's the word, engaging, I guess, people were, like how much they were receiving that type of content, and then a lot of them just push into it and don't even really live by it, but they pushed into it because they see that the people who listen to it really engage with it and really like are receptive to it. And I think that's what happened. So I really do think it got to a point where it is impacting people's lives. Like it is like making people act a certain way because they're trying to emulate the music. They're trying to emulate what they think their favorite artist is doing when their favorite artist is probably not even really living that life.
Yeah, it's
And women got to, the responsibility is on both, right? Because like don't let a
that
man
part.
impregnate you without a ring. Because if you value the marriage thing, don't just become a
Yeah,
baby mama.
we
Don't just become a stat. If you
right.
value the marriage, a woman is the gatekeeper. I don't think like people talk about how they feel like women can be trapped. A woman, in my opinion, cannot be trapped. You are literally the gatekeeper of the pregnancy. Like you could get Plan B the next day if you had unprotected sex. You could get an abortion if you get to that point, and you could just not accept the sex. You could just not have unprotected sex. And I know stealthing exists, so I know that's a whole nother conversation. Like the men that take the condoms off. So that's not even part of the conversation. But for the most part, women are literally the gatekeepers of babies. Like their babies cannot even get into your stomach and you have to allow, like, women are the ones that, unless it was, SA, women are literally could say no, and that man cannot the baby can't form by just on the man alone. So women have to take responsibility. Stop getting pregnant by men who are not your husbands. Like if you want to create that structure in our communities, you are responsible for that as well.
Yeah.
And don't just pressure a man to get married to you. He doesn't want that too. So men have to still want that. So
Yeah.
it's not just on women, but women also are the gatekeepers. Don't just become a statistic. Don't become a baby mama. Like become a wife and create this family if you can.
If people really want families, I definitely, I would say black men. I could say this pretty definitively, and I hate generalizing. I could definitely say black men don't want families as much as black women do.
They don't.
But the
No.
black women, like, yeah, if that's really what you
They
want,
settle.
then enforce that shit.
They enforce it. Don't settle. They settle, and then they think, oh, if I get pregnant, maybe he'll want me. He'll marry me. If I
Yeah,
give
it's
him
just
babies, no.
stupid.
Like how many times are we gonna do
And
this? How many, like, when is it gonna end? Like,
and white women do the same thing, but the
They
difference
do.
is that they have so much of a wider population
Mm-hmm.
in America, so that they can have a large population where that happens to them too, which it doesn't. But they, percentage wise, it's not, but volume wise, it's going to be more just because they have more people in America than we do.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have a huge population where they do get married, and marriage doesn't mean everything.
It doesn't, because that was a
Because you
whole
could-
nother separate conversation I
yeah.
was gonna have too. Like
Marriage
these early marriages in college,
could
for me,
could be trash.
like are and they probably are.
They probably
like,
fail.
me and you work in corporate environments. Like I'm telling you, a lot of these white men and white women, they come into these jobs and they complain about their husbands every day. These are the same people that are getting married at 21. They come into their offices every day. My husband is so annoying. My husband is that. My wife is this. They come into office flirting with other married coworkers. Like, so I'm telling you, like, this is not the end all be all. Like, just because this doesn't always mean nothing either. Like, that's what even this person said. Like, that he said that it seems like if you actually around these people, that they barely have a sense of self, and they don't even marry based off ideologies or shared interests. Like they think finding a partner is literally based off vibes and giggles. Like I do feel like it's like, oh, this high school cute fairy tale type love, and then they don't even share interests. They don't really even like each other. They're just looking for financial stability and a partner, and who giggles and laughs. And when times get rough, now it's I hate my wife, and they don't really be loving each other either. So like that's why I hate that we are putting them on such a pedestal, because lots of times their marriages don't mean nothing. Like honestly, I think, in my opinion, I think true genuine love is like, it's not super common in marriages. They're not. People are either marrying off of vibes, like early vibes and honeymoon stages, or they're marrying off of financial stability or because they have a kid. Like, it's like, I just want people to feel that real love and get married. Like, so that's why, yeah, we can't be acting like that. This is this means anything either,
Yeah,
right? Because like
marriage.
you've seen it probably in work too. Like these are the same people. The husbands come in and cheat on their wives, flirting with the other married coworkers who they really wish they want, because now they actually have a sense of self and they know each other, know themselves.
One day,
That's a whole nother topic.
one day, I'm gonna break stuff down. Like really, what I want to actually that's a separate idea for my own individual channel. But yeah, the whole marriage thing, like yeah, we just don't have the focus on it in the black
We
community
don't.
anymore because we don't see the benefit in it.
And this is like, that's why this person said like, you know, they said it's just natural thing for them to want to get married because that's what they see. Like they said they come from married parents. On top of that, most people get married from people they work with or at school. It's just a natural thing because you're around each other the most at those times. And someone said they don't even be in love to just wait. They don't even be in love, just get married for financial stability. But yeah, like it's not really instilled in us. I feel like, oh damn it, I lost the tweet, but I'm gonna find it again. It's not really instilled in us because a lot of us don't see it. So it's not instilled in us because, like, you know, we used to said the Oprah conversation. You have a lot of these people are being raised by bitter black women moms, right? Who are, all you're hearing is, you look like your dad. You're just annoying like your dad. Your dad is this, your dad is that. So you're just hearing so much negativity about men. So what makes you think now those daughters are going to go out and look for husbands when all they've heard was their mom complaining about men, and they have spite towards men because their dad left, right? So these people aren't seeing those successful marriages, right? That's one. And then two, like this person had a good breakdown. He said, I wish some of you studied the black community as much as you studied the white community, because it's pertinent to know both. But I'll entertain this conversation. It's a loaded one that's pretty complex with many dynamics, even though people will try to simplify it by saying some communities are just more intentional than others when it comes to dating. You can only pass down what you learned and pursue that in which you see value in. Let me try to be short and direct. You can't and wouldn't have the opposite of this without the strategic dismantling of the black family unit via mass incarceration, the drug epidemic, economic castration, and miseducation of the black community. That began in the late 70s and ravaged what once existed physically, psychologically, and emotionally for the next 2.5 decades. Black girls overwhelmingly have been raised to be independent, like we were saying, to seek the highest levels of education. Nothing inherently wrong with this. Oh, my throat's getting itchy. And to never have to depend on a man because of this, by single mothers who were placed in situations that call for that. Well, I'm gonna need a break. Come back, throat's getting itchy. You can read it.
By single mothers who were placed in situations that called for that. The upbringing subconsciously narrates the rest of their lives unless realized and attempted to change in order to sustain a healthy relationship with a man. This also statistically causes black women to become ready to for marriage much later in life. They call it settling down for a reason, because you'll never be able to find a man that checks all 40 boxes on your list. The goal is to find one that presents safety, security, and a level of stability. Someone equally yoked, who's open to self-improvement, and whom you can build with. You want me to read all this? How far? You want me to read all of it?
I can read the next one.
Do you see how long this is?
It's almost done.
Like, that's not almost done.
Yeah, look.
Oh, these are tweets. Black boys that how did he even tweet all of these words?
Twitter Premium.
Yo, bro, for y'all
That's why
that
some people pay for it.
I know y'all can't see this, but I don't even know how much time we have left on this
No,
segment.
we got like 10 minutes.
He wrote a whole Microsoft Word doc on a tweet. Black boys at a high rate were also raised by single mothers, women who try their best to turn them into men, but even the best mothers are incapable of giving a boy everything needed to become a man. Many never had examples of solid male role models who exemplified love, commitment, and the importance of social structure. They in turn were raised and socialized to survive. If you've ever been in a state of mind to any capacity, you would have a deeper understanding and be more empathetic. Are there black men who actively destroy their own families without any help or outside of the conditions I previously listed? Due to infidelity, ego, lack of discipline, etc., absolutely. But even that is all traceable back to a mental health element that many don't want to address. If you simply think that black men are just more promiscuous or less serious than other races, you're sadly misinformed. Intentionally dating and marriage are byproducts and privileges of healthy examples, conditioning, upbringing, values, and positive mental health. Now that we are aware of these obstacles and why our people have and are currently facing them in our community, I vote we stop these comparison games and put all of our energy and time into becoming more and wanting more using our own metrics. Never make me read a tweet like that again.
No, but he was that's right. Like everything he said, he broke it down literally in parts. He broke it down to obviously we could talk straight from the government and all the stuff they did to dismantle the black family, right? Then we could talk about how we dismantle it ourselves, how black girls are raised to be, remember we always say it, Miss Independent. That's like, get the PhD, get the degree, you don't need no man. Like, you're pushed to that, right? And I feel like we see that all the time too. Like, you got, stop chasing men. You can find your husband in your 30s, like, get that degree, but you could do both. Like, I have higher education than probably so many single women right now. So, like, what are we talking about? Like, we both got master's degrees. We both got our degrees on time. Like, we were able to get jobs and careers and do everything while still pursuing a relationship. Like, you could do both. And I wish we would stop embedding in people's brains that you can't focus on that degree. Don't focus on a man. Do you have ADHD? You could do both. Like, what are we talking about? Like, and I feel like there's so much brainwashing of black women for that Miss Independent thing. You don't need a man. You don't need this. You don't need that. And then black boys, same way. They're raised by single moms. And they're, a lot of these moms don't know how to raise men, and the men aren't around, like the men that should be around. There's so many just layers to this, and why our community is just such disheveled. And I want it to be fixed. I hope we could fix it, but I feel like this also circles back to our conversation that we had about the NFL players and stuff, right? Like, I do feel like there are a lot of successful black love and marriages out there. People just don't want to see it. They just see the negative, or they see what they see. Yeah, the stats don't lie. It's not like there's a huge population of us that are still like married, but they do exist. Like, we just set our own examples. Like, we grew up with married parents. All your aunts are married, right? All three of your aunts are married. My one aunt isn't, but my one aunt is married still. They just celebrated, I think, 30 years like a few months ago. I've had friends with married parents. Like, I've had
4 months.
Huh?
Is that 4 months?
4 your aunts. Oh yeah. I have for your on the other side, your dad's sister. Yeah, and we have friends who have married parents. Like I said, we have friends ourselves who are married, 2 black married people with 2 kids, and yeah, like, I feel like people, it's alive and well. So let's stop acting like it's not. But there definitely is still a problem in our community, and yeah. And like the guy said, let's just stop the comparisons, because every community has their own thing. Like we just said, like, I feel like we can't look at white people as the measurement, because I don't think they get married for love. Like, we could applaud them on getting married. I think they do. Sorry, that's very blanket statement.
Very unfair.
No, it's very unfair. I think a lot of them do, for sure. But like, I feel like the comparison games that people are making, a lot of them do get married though for that financial stability. It is go to school and find a man that's with got that good degree, who's gonna, like, and that's not a bad thing, right? If you want to look for you want to create a family structure based on financial stability, that's not something to look down on, because that's better than what we're doing, right? They're not doing it. But yeah, let me not say they don't get married for love, but definitely I'm sure they do. Plenty of them do. Like, that's an ignorant statement, but I feel like there also is other layers in there that they just have been raised on powerhouses and just creating that financial stability, and just keep it going. So I feel like there's a lot more nuances that we have to be aware of before we just keep comparing ourselves to them. So like the guy said, let's stop the comparison games. Like, let's not even comparing. Let's just start working on our community. Like, let's look inward. Like, why is it like this? Look, see, look at their white men. Their white men is good. That's why I'm gonna go start dating the white man. I'm gonna go start. I'm gonna go
What
get me
voice
a
is
white man.
What voice is that? Whose voice is that?
The mammies.
I never heard somebody with that type of voice
You ever
before.
see the swirlers? That's what their reason they're leaving. I'm leaving the community because you see the white black women.
What are they called?
The swirlers. You never heard them call those swirlers?
Let's move on.
No, that's a real statement, and they call that for black women too.
Okay.
That makes that date white women.
We're gonna move on to
No, but that's what they be
the
like.
next topic.
They be like, eyes goes. I'ma go get me his white man. He's gonna pay the bills. He's a provider. Leave them black men alone. That's how they be sounding.
Them white men don't want y'all.
Huh?
So them white men don't want y'all.
They don't.
They don't want y'all.
They don't. That'd be the funny part.
I was
when
about to say
Oh
something
my god,
insane.
when they be gassing them like, did I show you that TikTok?
Don't show me nothing.
No, I'm gonna show you this
We got to
TikTok.
move on.
I'm gonna show you this TikTok real quick. They was talking about when I actually tweeted it so I could find it. It was talking about like how black women get so gassed up when they get compliments from white men. Look.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. So
this how black women be. But this is how they act. This is literally how they act, right? This is literally
turn it off.
no, but tell me that's not true. Tell me that's not true. They be doing the most bare minimum complimenting. They be like, black women are so beautiful, and then there goes the people in the comments. They see it's time to switch sides. They see us for who we are. Like, okay, here we go.
Bye.
So this is flawed aspects on every aspect. But like I said, I always like to wrap it up this way. Y'all be safe because we know what we got going on here, and we know what we have in store for our lives, and we hope our kids just follow suit. Our future kids, we just hope that they see us as a good example, as a married black couple. And yeah, that's what marriage is, like I said, was not drilled into our brains. We saw it. It was just kind of like an expectation. I never put any thought into it. Like I just lived my life. And I love that. Like I feel like so many people just put so much thought into how they like want their lives to be. And I'm just grateful I never had to do that. Like we just lived our life. Everything came naturally. Money wasn't even a thought. We just both happened to have good lucrative careers and degrees, and just everything turned out the way it was supposed to be. Like maybe we're just blessed people. Maybe we're just favored people. And yeah, we'll be married, so y'all be safe. That's all I gotta say. At the end of the day, I don't really care about anybody else's life. Y'all be safe. I care about the black community. I want us to be better and prosper, but I really don't care that much at the end of the day. It's not my life. So.
You want to lead this one? All right. Thank you guys for watching.
No, I was scared. What was the last one? I think there's only one more topic, right? The Ice Spice beef. I'm just kind of exhausted with rap beef, to be honest. Like, it's kind of getting lame. I mean, it's not getting lame. I like rap beef, but I'm just like exhausted with this female rap beef because a lot of it's starting to feel like it's extra. Like I don't know, I feel like Ice Spice is just kind of feeding off of this Nicki beef and Lotto. I think they both are kind of desperate for some type of attention right now because Lotto doesn't really get a whole lot of it, and Ice Spice is probably scrambling because UMG is taking all the music off of TikTok. So I feel like this beef is kind of like not even real. I feel like people have been like trying to create a beef with them. And I feel like that they're just feeding into it now for the sake of entertainment because they see the whole Nicki Meg stuff happening, and what it's probably did for their numbers. Like, look at Meg's probably gonna get her first #1 because of this beef. So I feel like they're both trying to just profit off of it, right? Could you just ask too? I think you actually asked on the podcast, like, or it might have been outside the podcast, if there was even really beef with them, or people just were making it up. Like how they thought the song that she just dropped was about Lotto. You're like, how did they even come up with that? And I explained to you, I'm like, apparently there is a beef there, and obviously Ice Spice just confirmed it in that Twitter Spaces that she was in. Basically, calling Lotto out her name, like, oh, that B did this and that, and she had made her in the background of her snippet, and I was like, okay. So I'm gonna drop my snippet, So she basically confirmed it, but the timing is very suspicious, right?
They rich, but I'm richer.
Which do we know that?
They thick, but I'm thicker.
I don't know, man. The timing though just seems interesting, right? With the Nicki beef and then
But
also
what-
the UMG.
What are we thinking started this whole thing? Lotto shooting at Ice Spice because her affiliation with Nicki.
Possibly. I think Nicki scooped Ice Spice up, right? Got her on her side. I feel like she also tried to do that with Sexy Red. Like you could tell, she has kind of scooped up her people, the newbies. And I think Lotto and Ice Spice liked each other, right? They used to be Lotto. I mean, Ice Spice used to be in Lotto's picture likes, apparently. Like, people have the receipts. And I just think Lotto is kind of weird. I wouldn't put it past her that she would see that Nicki is cool with Ice Spice and she has a beef with Nicki. So, or Lotto could have been maybe paranoid. Maybe maybe Ice Spice was saying some things and Lotto was taking it as jabs because of the affiliation that Ice Spice has with Nicki. So, who knows? I really have no reason, like no understanding into their beef. I wish I could get like maybe watch a YouTube video or something to try to understand maybe the timeline. I'm sure someone's gonna put it together, the timeline of their beef to try to figure out what really started what. But it's weird.
Now,
And now I guess it's confirmed. And
what is the name of the fart song that she dropped?
I actually don't know. Let's see.
Don't tell me it's fart.
I feel like it actually is. But
If it's fart, then I'm probably just gonna shut down the equipment and we could just go to bed because it's like it's 2 a.m. Don't tell me that's
it's called "Think You the Shit."
Okay, all right.
But
Even
in
that's a little-
parentheses it says fart.
All right, we're gonna shut down half the equipment. Why did she drop that? If hear me out first. If you're dissing somebody, what the fuck is that song?
Look, Stupid Hoe was this, and that song was very lighthearted, fun, dumb. I think Ice Spice is really just having fun with it. Like I feel like she's kind of taking notes from Nicki's book. I think Ice Spice gives me very much carefree rapper. Like she's not really that serious about it, in my opinion. Like she's not like she's coming with the double, triple entendres. Like it's not no firework play. Like I feel like she's really just having fun with it. And for me, it almost gives like, look at me. You're trying so hard, and look at me. I'm doing way better than you with this stupid shit. That's what was kind of given to me, right? Like, ha ha ha. Like clearly I'm the shit, and you're not. Like I could just make this dumbass music, and it's probably gonna get more streams than you. Like I think it's almost like she's laughing at the fact that like it's so bad, and it's still doing better than somebody who's trying so hard. Like you're trying so hard, you're throwing shots at me. You being a hater, and you've been doing this. You've been sitting here, like since I think Lotto have been trying to do this since she was like a kid, right? Like she was on that show, whatever. I don't even know. So I think it's almost like like I'm doing this so effortless, and the people love it, and they don't love you. Like you're kind of not being a superstar the way you want to or wish you could be, the way I am right now. That would make sense, right? I think that's
I just lost every ounce of brain cells.
No, for me, that's actually kind of a funny thing. That would actually be funny to me too. Like, like I was like, if someone was kind of beefing with me, and I had to do the bare minimum, and I was like superseding them, that would be funny to me too. That I would make such a dumb song like called fart, like you shit, bitch, you not even fart, because it's almost like in the song itself is proving her point. Like even in this dumb little diss I made to you, that's literally saying like literally the dumbest comparison, calling like you're not even a fart. Like that's such a funny, stupid thing.
I have such
I really don't think Ice Spice is being serious. Like come on, I don't think she's being dead.
Well, I mean, I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I don't think the word bitch should be thrown around as casually as it does. So for me, if somebody's calling me that, then
No. I'm talking about the song. Like I don't think her saying "thank you" to shit, bitch, you're not even a fart. Like,
but if she made a serious song, then what do you think that would?
No.
Sound
Like I'm saying, like I think it's still she's being serious, but I think like she's being funny at the same time. Like, cause come on, like saying you're not even a fart. Like I think she probably laughed when she wrote that.
No, she probably is.
Yeah.
But why? But okay, because that was my question: is why drop that song?
You know, I mean, it's serious in the sense of the beef. The beef, I think, is serious, but I think the lyrics is like she's just having fun with it. Like it's like it's like you're kind of just like fucking with somebody, like you're messing with them in a funny way, but you're serious. Like I still don't like you, and that's why I'm making this funny diss towards you to show you how much I don't like you. But I'm just still like playing around, like you're not even a fart. Like I'm like laughing, like that's such a dumb lyric, but it's funny, like and it's true. I feel that's how she be seeing it. But I'm not gonna give I expect too much of benefit of doubt because I'm not supposed to say something crazy. But I say she looks a little slow to me, so she might really think she might be dead. Because she might. Never mind. Let me not say it.
The way you disparage women on this podcast is crazy.
I'm not disparaging women. I'm just saying she might be a little slow. She might be a little slow. So she might be dead serious with these lyrics. Like she might not even be funny. Like she might not even be laughing. She might be like, "Oh, that was hard. That's hard. That's hard."
What makes you think she's slow?
I think humans, there's things that happen in the body when we get pregnant, and I think sometimes the look of people sometimes could show signs of something being maybe off neurologically. And I think there are slight features of her that do give a little bit on the spectrum.
I wish.
Is that rude to say?
I wish we were famous just so this could get clipped and I could watch the internet just slowly.
I know that was so crazy. No, people make jokes. You never see the jokes about that? Like people saying that they think she looks like.
I don't care what jokes people make.
This is why I start filming this podcast so late at night because I start getting really delirious and just.
Yeah, you just start saying shit. I really wish these type of moments. I wish we had like 1 million subscribers just for the simple fact that I would love to watch people cook you on the internet all day. Like, you just would open up every door possible.
Oh.
To just completely destroy. I didn't look at anything. My forehead is out. Okay, I felt like I was gonna have more in-depth analysis on this, but considering that that's what we think is, well, that's what you're saying the root of all this is. I don't even have a comment on this. It's like,
do you feel like it's being pushed because of this whole Nicki Meg thing? Do you feel like they're trying to like profit now off of it, and they're gonna because this is like what when I was writing this topic, Lotto was in the Bronx today filming a video. Like that's Ice Spice's hood. Like she was in her neighborhood, like in the Bronx. I don't know if she was in her exact like neighborhood in the Bronx, but she was in the Bronx. Like, come on, you from Atlanta? What are you doing in the Bronx? Like you're trying to be funny. Yeah, like you're trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm like, I wonder what this is gonna turn into, like, or like, do you feel like this is real now? You're kind of putting yourself in harm's way slightly by doing that. Like, it has to somewhat be real. I know you got security, but I mean, not like the Ice Spice got goons, but you never know. You pulling up someone else's hood and you're from Atlanta, like, and you're affiliated with 21, right? I don't know. So people, a lot of stuff could get a little dicey with that.
I think, I don't know. Everything, music is basically turned into Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, Big Apple Circus. A lot of like real clown shit goes on, and it's all just entertainment. It's just a weird game that rap is in, where it's just like so performative. Because to me, there's so many like simpler solutions. Like, you don't even have to film a video. You don't have to pay for a crew to come to anybody else's hood. Like, you could just meet up and just fight each other.
Yeah.
Like, why do people exchange these pleasantries, right? Like, if you have beef with somebody, why are you explaining the beef to somebody in a Twitter space? Like, and I know fighting doesn't do anything, but it's almost like, then what are we doing? Because it's just so frivolous then.
Yeah, that's like this kind of same thing we said about the Nicki beef. Like, I don't like how the internet is being involved with this. Like, just put it on the music.
Yeah, put it in the music or fight. Like, I don't want to really deal with anything else. And I guess they were putting in the music, but why? Like, it's just, we did grow up in a certain different time, and maybe I sound like an old head, but like, when people used to drop diss tracks, they didn't go then and then like do a vlog about the diss track, or like, go into a Twitter space to talk about the diss track, or go on TikTok and explain the beef. Like, people didn't really do these kinds of things. So I have certain expectations of my rap beefs, and pulling up to somebody's hood, that's more
what you like.
That's more so what I like. Like, I don't like the performative nature of it, because that's like kind of like what 6ix9ine pulled up to O Block at the middle of the night.
Security's all around.
Yeah, so it's still not the the look.
Mm-hmm. But at least it's something.
At least it's something. But the whole like what are y'all beefing over? Like, there's nothing to even fight over.
That's why I'm like, I literally want to look.
Like, y'all not even from the same areas. Y'all don't have the same affiliations. Like, there's no possible way y'all could be clashing with each other at all. Like, basically, women rappers are just IG models that rap, like that do music.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are y'all are all in each other's likes with the pictures. That's all your relationship really is with these women rappers anyway. So like, where's the issue?
There could be underlying behind the scenes stuff. It could be maybe somebody was made it look. Maybe they said something. Maybe they tried to mess with my man behind my back. Maybe it could be a whole bunch of things. Maybe they said something and I heard through the grapevine that they was talking. Maybe that could have been a thing, right? Maybe Ice Spice heard something from Nicki. Like maybe Ice Spice has some intel, right, from Nicki. Maybe Nicki was like, oh, Lotto was doing this, Lotto was doing that. She said this about you. So then Lotto started throwing shots. Like it could be a whole bunch of stuff.
24.
Yeah, she just turned 24.
And Nicki is 41. And Lotto's 25, 6, something.
Something like that.
Okay.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Like I said, I low-key want to watch a video and figure it out. Like I want to see if anybody does a breakdown. I want to know the root of this beef, but that's why I wish they would just say stuff more. Like I want to know, like put in the music, say like, oh, like you tried to do, like if it is over a man, right? Like, oh, you tried to hit my man, blah blah. Like, or you was on some funny shit. Like say something like that. I want to know what happened. Like even with Meg and Nicki, what happened? Like put it in the music.
I give you that example of like Jedi mind tricks in music, like with certain lyrics and stuff like that, where it's like only that person might necessarily know, like with the subliminals. So I like those type of subliminals. Like I don't like the games. Like it's so catty and especially when men do it. Yeah, it's like what space are we in? Because if it's a beef, then let the beef go. But I also want people to take it seriously. I would want Ice Spice to actually drop a real intentional, non-ironic diss song.
But we gotta be honest. Ice Spice, Lotto beef, Lotto would win.
She would.
Lotto's definitely the better rapper.
She is.
I'm not a huge fan of Lotto, but I'm not gonna say that she's a bad rapper. Just not a fan.
Yeah, she would definitely wash her, but it's like, I don't even want to see that. Like, why couldn't it? You start rapping.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, because we need more people to we need more women.
I know how to write, but I don't know
you
how to
do
rap.
not know how to write.
Yeah, I do. You want me to use my freestyle my diss track?
You could perform better than you write. Like you have better rap mechanics than you have.
You
the
don't like
ability to
my verse I wrote?
Like I wasn't the with you with tissues.
How's that? Oh yeah. Let me do real quick. Bitches is funny. How they switch up.
You're not about to really rap this.
They be cool with you till you glow up. Then they want to compete.
Yeah.
Homie, grow up.
Gra.
We could both be winning.
Bow.
But you fucked it up. Mal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
That's me.
Pretty skinny girl from the
You're not about to perform this whole thing.
Brooklyn born.
I'm cutting this whole portion.
Long Island raised. Moved to Jersey. Rep that 908. My house big.
You don't have a house?
My friends lit.
You have no friends?
Cute ass woman. We gon' make it.
So that line ain't applicable either.
Ugly and ratchet. You not in my tax bracket. You was never one of us. So there's really no loss. Let's move on. Forget the past. Everyone from back then, they all asked. But what about me? I'm gonna have a master's degree in accountancy before I'm 23. These niggas funny. Be in my DMs. All them girls you gassed in high school, now they BMs. I forgot the next part. I got bars.
You know what's funny?
I'm gonna get my master's degree in accountancy before I'm 23. I wrote that when I was 20, and I got my master's before I was 23. The funny thing is,
I'm about to clip that specific part and just put it out. And you're gonna have to explain. You're gonna have to explain to everybody when I clip that and post it. You're gonna have to explain that to them. What they just witnessed. This is what we was
doing in school when we should have been doing.
I feel like I just feel like I just witnessed a mental breakdown right now on the podcast.
But don't you feel like my writing ability is not that bad? Like look at
that's the only thing you ever wrote.
I wrote some other stuff.
Yeah, and it was like bad.
Everybody always fake flexing.
Please, we do not have the
always
time.
In the mall when they bank account.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Couple of Things podcast.
Always throw them.
We will see y'all next week.